Yeah, before I collect my Z's, my mind is kind of still on this consciousness thing, so I just want to kind of get it off. Uh, my mind is on the leadership thing. Um, the Black Consciousness movement that Steve Biko sort of franchised in South Africa among a lot of students, which is still present in a lot of universities today, where black consciousness, or albeit it's fading now, is still sort of advertised. I think advertised is the right word to use. And when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense because black consciousness basically just means being proud of who you are. And if you're black, then be proud of being black. You don't have to bleach your skin, you don't have to relax your hair, all of the after effects that came with the uh, past regime, with the whole inferiority complex that most black people seem to suffer from, which is deep. It is really, really deeply rooted, and I think to an extent ignored and brushed off while it's a serious situation. Um, you know, really, really dark skinned girls can be broken down so badly that they feel bad about themselves just for being them. You can have the most, the prettiest girl, and someone will go, yeah, she's really beautiful, but oh, she's so black. And this kind of thinking is something that black consciousness sort of wants to wipe away. We want to empower ourselves to the point where you don't think of yourself as a black person, period. You're not a black person, you're just a person. And it's unique to black people. I think that's why it's called black consciousness, because you know there isn't any other race that's sort of trying to harden their hair and have it afroed up or bleach their skin. I mean, tanning can't really be compared to bleaching skin, especially because of the damage that it causes and the psychological impact that it has on people. And it's the same with dudes. A lot of guys also suffer from this sense of inferiority due to being black, and it's sort of like in the back of their heads, where they would feel like they're a lesser person because their currency goes down due to the shade of their skin color. And thinking about this and the way that it was articulated by Steve Biko, uh, it was a movement that even managed to reach the American shores. Not a movement, but an ideology that even managed to reach the American shores. Okay, I'll just speak on this aspect of black consciousness. And today, I think with the current situation, with the old regime gone, and with people trying to sort of get along, irrespective of background, race, and so forth, maybe we need to sort of change the name uh, to exclude color completely. I don't know. I think there are lots of creative names that people can come up with. You know, Natural consciousness, self-consciousness. It shouldn't be exclusive anymore, because when other when people with other shades other than black sort of understand black consciousness, it also gives them a deeper understanding of the history, as well as why you get some people that are sort of reactionary. Although we have reactionary people on both sides of the camp, why you have people black people that are so reactory and sometimes very fearful of the dominant race on our species, which is how it's viewed. Um, I think if we sort of start to look into this, you know, I'm not saying girls shouldn't wear their weaves and their wigs and their what. I'm not even going to talk about that. I got a lot of my cold was thrown under my feet for kind of talking about that. Um, but the main thing is kind of you know, removing the whole idea that I'm black and proud, which is something that we take pride in to say I'm black and I'm proud, because there isn't really another race that has to say that. There isn't another race that has a history of oppression to the extent that they have to sort of elevate their race and be proud of it as if there's something to be ashamed of. And that point, as if there's something to be ashamed of, is where I personally miss the leaders like Steve Biko and in America's Malcolm X. Malcolm X after when the second phase when he left Elijah Muhammad and when he truly freed his mind. He sort of both of them understood that this was something that was it has an effect on society, a sort of invisible force uh, that does cause damage. And I mean, you can go almost anywhere on this continent and you'll find relaxers and you'll find all sorts of bleach products, and the excuse is it's fashion and it's easier to um, to brush your hair if it's softer and so forth. But the thing is, uh, the image that is wildly held, that your hair needs to sort of fall down or blow with the wind, um, is sort of it corrodes a human value. It corrodes a human value. It corrodes uh, a natural biological aspect of a person, and it sort of subtly hides undertones of slight bitterness and slight envy. And I think we should be honest about that. There's that slight envy, um, and uh, yeah, that's why I miss leaders who are able to sort of pick these things out of society and realize just how damaging they were to society. Um, it's not only about empowering black people. That wasn't what black consciousness was about. It was about empowering everybody, because when everyone is on the same level of seeing human value, seeing themselves, not because you can hide behind your really successful career, not because you can hide behind how you do really well academically or your wealth or something, because there's always something that people hide behind to sort of hide that inferiority complex, because every single day in people's faces there are these images and messages that says that this is what's good and this is what's bad. And there was this Harvard project that sort of uh, that they conducted where they took black people and they showed them images and one image would be of a black person and it would say bad, and one image would be of a Caucasian and it would say good, and then they would switch the images and you have to make these really fast decisions as the images go away. And then they found out that there was a bias most of the time in all races against black people, um, you know, seen as being less, right? And when they zoom in, if you zoom in, you start to realize how much this impacts black people in general. So yeah, I think that's one aspect of our humanity that we shouldn't hide. Just like we shouldn't hide the fact that we speak different vernaculars, because we take pride in vernaculars as well. And when we sort of hide the fact that we take pride in vernaculars, we hide the bias that exists between people due to the fact that they speak different vernaculars. And this bias, which is sometimes called tribalism, it exists, and it is also damaging to society. And it's very deeply rooted, especially in politics. Not so much in society, because people live together, they mingle a lot, but it is so in politics, where there is a sort of grouping structure that exists in politics due to the difference in vernacular that people have. And yeah, I think we need leaders that can sort of unite us as human beings finally. Sort of strip away all of the superficial stuff, and that'll be the coming of our new Namibia, a new way of thinking. We need to sort of have intellectuals that inspire a new way of thinking, that sort of push it forward. Uh, the fact that at our core, basically genetically, there is no difference. It doesn't really matter. It's a psychological thing, and it's all about perspective. And if this can be put forward simply, funny, but to me right now, I think this is one of the things that will sort of separate us, our peaceful country, and will have us on a even faster trajectory away from the other African countries. And we will also lead in a department where they seem to have failed, because they fail to tackle these misconceptions and these societal invisible lines of division. Uh, yeah, I think right now we have a leadership that is sort of trying to um, to bridge that gap. But I think terms like minority and majority sort of an undertone of saying, there is a bias, we know there's a bias, and we want to remove the bias. I don't think it's really a great way to sort of unite people. I think it's better to remind people about, the differences that aren't there, and then maybe later on have them share their own differences and stuff on their own. Um, when they're comfortable. I think comfortable society is something that I personally yearn for, and I think charismatic leadership that'll be able to sort of dare to venture into these realms, uh, and articulate them in a manner that they are really understood by the people and not, misconstrued, and get negative feedback. I think that is the future. Those are the kind of subtle societal changes that we need to sort of endorse into our societies and communities. And yeah, I really hope that we one day get away from the whole talk of minority groups and majority groups. All based on vernacular and sometimes skin shade. I think it's totally ridiculous, especially when it comes to national matters.